Hello there, Taurus. Welcome to DragonTaleTarot. My name is Ariel, and this is your reading for 2020. This is an overview reading, which is going to give you some big basic themes and what to look forward to for the new year of 2020. I can't believe we're already here wrapping up 2019, which has been a very challenging year for pretty much everybody I know, myself included. So I'm so glad that we have gotten through it together, that we've kind of like, we've passed that test, right? We've gotten through so much of that challenge, and we're getting ready to go into a new vibrational energy. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you have been doing well. I meant to get these up a lot sooner, but I had a cold because it's really going around right now. And so I waited and rested and made sure I was ready to do these, because I really want the messages for 2020 to come out clearly. So hello from Mr. Dragon. He's taken off his little fancy holiday wreath now. He's letting old Stony Dragon over here wear that in the corner. So if you are new to the channel, thank you so much for joining. I'm glad it caught your eye. I hope you enjoy this reading that we're going to be doing. If you are returning, thank you so much for coming back. And if you have not yet done so, as always, I invite you to reach out, hit that subscribe button. Also give it that dragon claw up by clicking the like button and let me know that you enjoy this content. If you're looking for information regarding personal readings, card decks that I use in my readings, etc., all that information will be in the description box below. So I'm very excited to be doing this reading for you. This is kind of a general version of a popular reading that I've been doing for many of my clients for years now. A lot of them even travel from out of town every year to do this, kind of overview reading when the new year is approaching. So I'm very, very happy. I've had the channel up for almost 6 months now. So this is awesome. I'm just so glad to have met so many of you and look forward to what's coming up as we go forward. So let's go ahead and jump into your astrology. We're just going to talk about that for a little bit, Taurus. Mostly we're going to be doing cards. I'm going to be doing a lot of oracle cards and also a full tarot spread for each day, for each month of the year. So if you have seen my readings before, you know I always talk a little bit about the astrology for a few minutes before we get into the card reading. Also keep in mind, this is a general reading. It's not going to resonate with every single Taurus out there. So take what makes sense and leave the rest. This is mostly going to resonate with Taurus Sun, Moon, Venus, and Mars. Not Mars. Sometimes Mars, though. And the rising sign, because those are very big and interpersonal planets. So it will also resonate with you very possibly if you have other planets or other major placements in Taurus in your chart. We all have all 12 signs represented in our chart, so it's all to do with how much emphasis is put where, and that's what gives us our unique personality. So guys, let's look at this. So here I always bring up, I promise I'm not paid by Llewellyn, but I do like this little pocket planner. I buy one every year. And this is for 2020, obviously. So, these are really great because it's going to give you, it gives some major, planetary stations for the year. It has a day-by-day, astrology calendar so that you can see the moon sign and major stuff that's happening each day, like eclipses or retrogrades and things like that. But the best part for me is in the back. Look at all that fine print. That's an ephemeris in the back. So this shows the day-by-day motions of the planets. And Taurus, when I look for, your major stuff, I'm always going to look at your ruling planet, which is Venus. This is an interesting year because we do have a Venus retrograde this year. We also have a Mars retrograde this year. And there are many years when we don't have either one. Sometimes we only have one of those, but this year we get both. So I would say that this is going to be a year of a lot of adjustment in relationship. Because that Venus retrograde will be in the sign of Gemini, it's going to have a lot to do with duality and the two sides of ourselves and the two sides of each of other people that we're in relationships with. And it's also going to have a big focus on communication and how to talk to people better. Interestingly enough, I was just doing my Aries reading and I was talking about Mars being in retrograde. It behaves like Venus. And when Venus is in retrograde, it behaves like Mars. People aren't as polite, they forget their manners, and they're a lot more cut to the heart of the matter. So, you know, you can definitely tell during a Venus retrograde that, you know, people just aren't they're not as romantic. They're not as, you know, lovey-dovey. It's a lot less less shiny on that. You know, they just don't have that sensibility as strongly. So let's just go month by month. I'm going to just talk to you about where Venus is moving. So we start out January with Venus in Aquarius, and it goes into Pisces on January 14th. So Pisces Venus is very, very positive for you, Taurus. It's a water sign. It's in harmony with your energy. It's very sentimental. It is very romantic. So we do actually have a very romantic beginning to the year with Venus. Then it moves into Aries, which is not as romantic because Aries is ruled by Mars. It's a fighting kind of energy. So, you know, Venus in Aries is way more aggressive, way more direct in love. It's more impatient. So, you know, this is the time going into February 8th. That's when Venus will go into Aries. And it will be there up until March 6th. So you can expect people to be a lot more direct and demanding in their relationships. So then, Taurus, a big motion for you. And this is actually going to be a really nice month. I would say that most of March, Venus will be in your sign. It will be in Taurus starting March 6th. And Mars is in Capricorn, Jupiter's in Capricorn, Saturn's in Capricorn, all of that month as well, Pluto as well. So we've got a huge pile up of Capricorn. All the Capricorn energy that's happening throughout this year, Taurus, is very positive for you because it's a fellow Earth sign. So it will allow you to take advantage of, you know, a lot of good, solid building energy. Anything that you do with AI towards the future and future goals, that's always important, and it's going to feel pretty good. You know, then when we go into April, it's a little more challenging. Mars will be in Aquarius that month, and that creates a square to your sign. Venus will be in Gemini, which really doesn't have a pattern of energy to you, but it will be a communicative time for Venus. So the major thing we're talking about, Venus retrograde, it starts on May 13th, and it goes until June 24th. So a little bit over a month, Taurus. And I would say that that's going to be probably one of the more challenging times of the year. It's going to be a little more iffy. And that is definitely going to apply to Libra as well, because Venus is their ruling planet also. So then after we get over that retrograde, you know, Venus will continue on in Gemini until August 8th. So we do have a long period of time of Venus in Gemini this year. So that's why I say this is going to be a year where there's going to be a real period of time that relationship communication is very important, because Gemini is all about communication. It's like if we haven't communicated well with our partners in the past, that's going to come up. That's going to be very, very important. Then when Venus moves into Cancer on August 8th, that's going to feel really good to you again, Taurus, because Cancer is also in good harmony with you. Then it's moving into Leo on September 7th. You will definitely feel that because Leo is not a sign that is easy for you. It creates that square pattern yet again, which is more challenging and requires more adjustment. So then Venus will be moving into Libra on October 29th. That's also, even though it's not a direct pattern of flow of energy for you, Taurus, it's very nice because that's also a place where, you know, it's mutually ruled. So Venus in Libra will go all the way until November 21st. Then it will change into Scorpio at the end of November. And that's really going to bring up, yet again, a lot of that balancing act. You know, because Scorpio is your opposite sign. So I would say that overall, my feeling about your planetary movement with your rulership of Venus is that there's going to be some real periods of adjustment. There's also going to be some periods where it is very satisfying and very free-flowing, and it's going to feel really good. And that's kind of normal in any given year. There's always going to be patterns of energy that feel easier And then there's going to be ones that are more difficult. Definitely watching out for that Venus retrograde. If you stay tuned into my channel, you know, I'll always bring up the major points with every reading that I do. You know, especially my bi-monthly readings, I always bring up some of the major astrology points for each sign. So don't worry if you don't remember or if you didn't write down, you know, the dates for that Venus retrograde. Trust me, I'll bring it up again as we get closer to it and we're actually in it. So let's go ahead and get into your cards, Taurus. We're, like I said, going to do a lot of oracle cards here to start, and then we're going to get into your tarot. Dear angels, divine beings of light, guardians, ancestors, helpers, and healers, please be around the sign of Taurus as we do their overview for the year of 2020. Please bring through clear, accurate messages for their highest good and protect their energy as well as mine throughout the session. Thank you so much. Ooh, look at this, Taurus. So look at this number 3. And that's interesting to me because look at this. This is a number for you. This is a numerology deck. So the number 3 is the third sign. The third sign is Gemini. And like I said, your ruling planet is going to be spending a lot of time in Gemini. Yellow is also the color that's very strongly associated with Gemini. So wow. This is the number of creativity. This is also the number of the, you know, Empress card in the tarot. So to me, there's a lot of creativity with a 3. I think this is going to be a year of great creation and, you know, new activity for you. And, you know, Gemini rules the arms, it rules the hands. So it's like if there's anything like crafty or artistic or creative that you do with your hands or even with your arms, it's kind of like this is really the time to do that because it's very, very favored. You have a lot of that energy flowing to you. So very interesting that that is your number that is coming up for 2020 here. So now I'm going to pull a card from the archangels, not the archangels, but the guardian angels. And we're going to pull a guardian angel for you for 2020 to see what kind of energy your angels, your spirit guides, your ancestors, what they're wanting to bring through to you stronger. Maybe what you should be tapping into a little bit more or asking them to help you with. Oh, and look at that, Taurus. Ah, angel of positivity. I really love that. So that is what your guardian angels, spirits, guides are really trying to impart to you is, you know, a spirit of positivity because this has been a very challenging year, this past year that's going out. And so it's like it'd be really, really easy, Taurus, for you to kind of get down and get really dark in your thinking and really negative and beat yourself up and be very pessimistic. So this is really coming through. It's like, and don't feel bad if you do feel that way. Don't feel bad if you get down or you feel negative or you're beating yourself up. But just remember that your angels, your guardians, your guides are all there on the other side, just waiting for you to ask them, please, you know, just help lift my mind out of this negative mindset. Help me to keep my mind in a more positive modality, and they will be there to help you. And I love the image of this. It's like, you know, like the light at the end of the dark tunnel, literally. And so Taurus, for a lot of you, you've been walking through that dark tunnel. You already know. You're like, I'm done with that dark tunnel. So you know what that's about. And that's just saying, it's like your guide, your guardians, your guides are all there to want to help you through that, to get to that light at the end. So let's pull a card from the Sacred Destiny Oracle. This is going to be, I love this deck, and this is going to be a key word for you about your life path this year, about what your life purpose is bringing you, how to navigate it, and what to embrace. Oh, look look at this, Taurus. And I'm looking at the connection right here. The rainbow, and look at what this card is. Miracles. Oh. So Taurus, this is really saying don't give up. You know, don't give up, because look at that, even in the dark night, look at the rainbows, look at the miracles that come through. That's a beautiful card, especially paired up with this one, because we've got the rainbows in both of these. So you can't have a rainbow without the storms, right? So that's really a big thing too coming through for you, Taurus. This is really very much about, you know, the sun coming out after the storms of life, which I know so many of my Taurus folks out there, y'all have really been going through it. I know it. I feel it. I feel you. Oh my goodness. So now I'm going to pull a card from the Hidden Worlds. And this is such a beautiful deck. It's really about the place that your soul desires to occupy very strongly, you know, a spiritual realm that's really where you're meant to be or meant to fulfill, that maybe you're not even consciously aware of. You know, this is something that your deeper heart is speaking to, that almost feels like your heart's home or your spirit's home. And let's pull one of these for 2020 to see what your world is, Taurus. Oh, Taurus, look at that. And that's so beautiful. Oh my gosh. So returning home, that is, what a perfect card to come out. Just like we were talking about, this is like your soul's home. And so the loving welcome, the transition, the life between lifetimes, look at that. So for many of you, you are in this like transitional phase of like one thing moving to the next. So some of you, this literally means maybe you're coming back home after a long time of living somewhere else, or maybe you're coming back to be somewhere with people that, you know, you've really missed, or somewhere that just feels like home to your heart. I absolutely love that. Oh my goodness. Oh, such a beautiful reading so far for you. All right, so now we're going to take the Animal Spirit Oracle, and I'm going to pull 4 of these for you, kind of with the thought of sort of like a, you know, winter, spring, summer, fall sort of a feeling. But they don't have to be specific to those seasons. Like I said, this is always, you know, just take it as it fits. But these are just going to be, you know, 4 guardian animal spirits that are going to be with you throughout the year. These are things that you may be embracing, learning, experiencing, that they will be helping you with as we go through 2020. Oh yes, like this. All right, Taurus, so here, this to me is for the winter season, which we're in right now. We're starting out with the lizard spirit, dream the world into being. So in a lot of ways, you know, the lizard is associated with dreams. I love that they put little wings on him like he's a little bitty dragon, because that gives him that power. I love that. But, you know, the lizard's associated with dreams. And I think Taurus in some ways, you know, 2019 might not have seemed like much of a dream. Maybe for a lot of folks, it's like, this kind of been a nightmare. I want to wake up from that, you know, and it's like, I want to dream a better dream. I want to wake up and create something better than this has been. So, you know, this winter, it's like, I think you're sort of like gradually, so it's like you're like almost like this energy of waking up out of another reality. The Panther spirit comes through for the springtime, and you know what's really cool? I notice all these synchronicities with the cards. The coming home card is the 44. The Panther card is the 44. So the spring could be really important for you, you know, around that returning home, reclaim your power. You're stepping back into, you know, a feeling of being more yourself, of being more grounded, of being more centered, of finally feeling like, you know what, I feel like I'm being more true to myself than I have. And, you know, spring, of course, Taurus, is your season. So think about that, you know, getting into late April, getting into May. This is reclaiming your power and standing in your, you know, in your fullness of yourself. And so then as we move into the summertime, which I think is gorgeous, the seahorse spirit makes me think of the ocean, makes me think of summer. And, you know, the seahorse is saying watch and wait. And, you know, if you watch the seahorse, they drift through the sea, they take it easy, they're directive, you know, but they don't have that sort of like, I gotta go, I gotta hurry. And so, you know, during that summertime when we have, you know, that Venus retrograde in the late spring, early summer, it's like we're really, yeah, we're in that kind of like watch and wait, just relax, sit back, don't push the river. But then, you know, as we go into autumn and we start heading towards the end of next year, we have the stag spirit, which is a very ancient spirit that guards the gateways between worlds. And this is saying take the lead. So it's like you have a little bit of off and on. You know, you start with the dreamy lizard energy, then it's like reclaim your power with the panther spirit, then it's like take it easy, Taurus, and then come back and take the lead. So yeah, this could be a little bit of stop-start energy. I definitely sensed that on the whole with your energy, so that's totally fine, just as long as you kind of, you know, feel that, like tap into that. Don't be afraid to kind of go, well, you know what, I'm going to take this month easy, I'm going to take that week hard, you know, a little bit more direct, a little more energy, you know, just be honoring how you feel. Be honoring how you know, your energy is flowing, because some parts of this year you're going to feel more, you know, charge ahead, move forward quickly, and then other times you're going to be like, nah, I gotta sit back, I gotta wait and let things come to me. So now I'm going to do 3 cards from an astrology reading deck. This is a really fun deck. One section is zodiac signs, the other is the planets, and then the next is the houses. And I'm going to pull one of these to see first which zodiac sign is the most important in your life this year. It doesn't have to be your sun sign, obviously. It could be, you know, somebody that you're going to meet, somebody that's important in your life, or, you know, the kind of energy that you're needing to embody about this particular zodiac sign for 2020. Ooh, Taurus, look at that. You pulled Libra. So Libra is Venus ruled just like you. That's why I said this is going to be a year that will incorporate a lot of balancing in relationships, because Libra is all about balance. It's harmonizing, it's equality, it's making sure that things are just and right. This could even lead to some Taurus out there, you know, getting a feeling of like, finally they got justice, finally they got fairness, finally they got a fair outcome from where they really wanted to be. It also encourages you to be very diplomatic and very balanced in all of your dealings with others. So now we're going to pull a planet card, same deal. We're going to see which planet is best for you to embody, what's the most strongly aspected for you this year, Taurus. Let's see which one comes up for you. Ooh, I like this. Oh my goodness. So Uranus comes up, Libra. Not Libra, I'm sorry I called you Libra because the Libra card came up. But you know what? Uranus is very important to you, Taurus, because right now Uranus is traveling in your sign. So this is really, really kind of perfect. Now Uranus naturally rules Aquarius. It's very, it can be chaotic. It's very like shakeups and sudden changes, enlightenments, awakenings, right? it's really encouraging us to be very much ourselves. So Taurus, this is definitely saying you should embrace your unique spirit. Don't try to be like everyone else. Don't try to follow the crowd. Listen to your own unique voice within and embody that, because that's really what the world needs, is people being uniquely themselves more than ever. So now we're going to pull a card from the house system, and the houses in the chart are very much like the areas of your life. So this is going to show us which area of your life all this energy is playing out on, and where it's going to light up. Oh, Taurus, there's a real, oh my goodness, so the 4th house, look at that, and that is the Cancer house. This is all about home and roots and stability and family and what feels like home to you. There's a real current of homing and grounding and being home running through your reading so far. So that's very, very powerful. Libra, Uranus, the 4th house. So it's very liberating, yet also very grounding, Taurus. I'm going to try to get all these cards to stay here so I can kind of refer back to them. I like having them there where I can see them, but they don't want to stay. They want to do their own thing. How about that, Taurus? You want to do your own thing. All right, so let's move into the tarot part of the reading. I'm very excited about this because I really enjoy doing the 2020 or the new year overview like this. It's kind of the only time of the year that I do readings like this, so it's really fun. So we're going to pull a tarot card for each month of the year, and we're going to see just a basic idea of what each month of 2020 is going to look like. Of course, as we go through the year, I will be doing deeper, more, intensive readings around, each period of the year, but this is just to give kind of that overview to say, okay, what are the major themes of each month? I do this reading for myself at the beginning of every year. I write them down and I refer back to it pretty frequently. So let's see what comes up for Taurus Spirit. Yeah. Woo! Okay, Taurus. I'm thinking I'm probably going to do some modifiers on this, on some of these for sure. So January, oh, babies. Oh, my sweethearts. Oh, 5 of Cups. So definitely a lot of my Taurus have really endured some heartbreaks, some disappointments, some emotional letdowns. So it's kind of like January finds you kind of going, wow, I'm in review. I'm looking at all the things that really didn't go right. 2 cups are still sitting here, back here, still standing upright. So it's not all lost, Taurus, but right now, this month, it's really hard for you, to see where things are still good, because you're just really kind of, it's like you're in emotional review and process right now. You have to process your feelings, and that's totally okay. Yeah, and this is like really, dealing with some feelings, some thoughts. Some of you have been dealing with some really immature people or influences with that Page of Swords. But many times that's, it's your thoughts. It's the things that are going on in your mind. But that's a positive thing, actually, Taurus, for that card to come up, because, you know, that tells me that this is more in the mind than in the reality. This is probably stuff that's already passed. It's already happened. It's not like future disappointment is on the way, but you're processing things that have been really tough for you. So then we're going into February, and you're ready to get back to work. You're like, hey, you know, 8 of coins. Let's start getting back to something. You come back to center really, really well in February. Once you've processed some of that emotional stuff and you've really kind of cleared the air, you know, you're ready to get back to it. It's like you're an earth sign. You got all that Capricorn is popping for you right now. So this is a super positive year in so many ways, Taurus. You can really build an empire this year. You can really build a foundation that last. You can start things that are very, very solid. And February is saying, yeah, be patient, be studious, apply yourself. Yeah, and don't put up with anybody being underhanded with you at all. Absolutely. You are not, you're not going there anymore. And make sure that any offers that come through to you in February are solid. Make sure that they're people that you trust and know and you feel good about. So then going into the month of March, we have the King of Wands. The King of Wands is very fiery energy, Leo, Aries, Sagittarius kind of feeling. Very much a creator, very much a ruler of his own world. It's very, very direct, very strong, very self-confident. Really, really liking that energy for you there, Taurus. Moving into the month of April, we have the Three of Cups. So going into, you know, that later month, this is a really beautiful celebratory energy. So that to me definitely brings the feeling back up. This is celebrating with friends, getting together with other people, and a general feeling of emotional well-being. Going into the month of May, we have the Moon card. There's that Pisces time. Very Cancery, very Pisces, very watery. This really reveals things that are hidden. Sometimes it can make you feel a little bit confused about things that are going on around you because your emotions are very, very strong. I would also pay attention to the full moon that's going to be in May, and I believe since that's the Taurus sun, that would be the Scorpio moon, which will be a very intense full moon. So yeah, Taurus, May will definitely be pretty emotionally powerful. I'm going to pull a clarifier on that one. Yeah, and look at that, because I think this is going to bring up something very powerful where you're leaving behind anything that's not emotionally fulfilling, things that aren't really right for you, whatever it is, Taurus. May is going to be a powerful month of letting go of something that just doesn't work for you and really tuning into your subconscious and the needs of your soul. So then going into June, very beautiful card. I love this one, Seven of Pentacles. We already had the 8 earlier, so to me this has a very similar energy. It's still very much about building, about grounding, about patience, about putting, you know, your plans into the ground. Literally, like, you know, it's like planting those seeds, planting those thoughts, planting those ideas. So June is a very powerful time to get that done. Let me pull a clarifier for that. Ah, that's a fulfilling month. I really like June. That's going to be very beautiful with that 9 of Pentacles on top of the 7 of Pentacles. That's very stable. That's super grounded. That's like, you know, really a feeling of like getting it together, feeling a lot better about where you're going in life. Then we're getting that feeling into July. July is the time of Cancer. This is conflict. This is potential challenge. This is like that tussle card. 5 of Wands is like, you know, it's not like big, bad, horrible arguments, but it's just like that little, you know, it's like that struggle. Like we said, there are going to be periods of adjustments through this year. Obviously, for some of you, that's going to be in July. So let's pull a clarifier around that one. Yeah, and to me, I think Taurus, that's coming up because you're coming to the end of a difficult cycle there. And many times I feel that these kind of things pop up, you know, throughout our year, throughout our cycle, because it's like if we haven't really dealt with it, you know, it comes up to be really healed. It comes up to be released. So I think that any kind of conflicts or any kind of difficulty or challenge that comes up around that time, around the middle of the year, that's going to be a time of, like, you know, completion. It's like, I'm done. I'm done. I'm done with people stabbing me in the back. I'm done with people letting me down. It's over. Those cycles are finished. And then going into the month of August, we have that Page of Swords coming up again. So this Page of Swords has come up twice here in this year. Some Taurus people may be dealing with a younger air sign, you know, Libra, Gemini, Aquarius. We know that Venus is going to be spending a lot of time in the sign of Gemini, which is the youngest air sign, which is kind of feels like Page of Swords to me, y'all. So to me, there could definitely, there's an emphasis on that card already for this reading. So that's definitely something that's coming up. You might be dealing, like I said, with, you know, an immature person, whether they're an air sign or not. But it's also just sort of a youthful energy. Many times, too, the Page of Swords can relate to messages coming through, more emails, more texts, more things like that, because it's communication energy. But again, it is like a younger, more immature energy that hasn't completely grown up. So let's clarify him. And then look at this. This is very interesting to me as well, Taurus. We've got the Fool card sitting on top of the Page of Swords. There's going to have to be, you're going to have to make some sort of leap of faith, some sort of move about this. There's going to be a decision, and it's going to require you, you know, to just kind of let go. It's really a let go kind of energy. And then moving into September, look, the Fool card comes up yet again. So you're not getting away from that energy. This is really like August, September. There is this kind of need for this leap of faith, for embracing a more innocent, more, in some ways people might say naive, but it's really, it's having more faith. It's just having more faith in your process and letting go of worry. So for some of you, like I said, you may be dealing with a younger, more immature air sign, or somebody that behaves like an immature air sign. But for some of you as well, I could also see this as stepping away from any of your own worries, your own anxieties, those nagging little thoughts that just kind of get to you, and really changing, you know, the way you think, because the page is young, so it can be like, you know, the birth of new thought, the birth of new ideas. That can definitely be coming in for you as well, Taurus. And with, you know, Uranus moving along in your sign, this deals with your mind quite a bit. So absolutely, it's a strong message coming through here. Yeah, and look at this. On top of the Fool, we have another page. You know, both August and September are the Fool card with a page. So, you know, Page of Swords for July, Page of Pentacles for August. So I think that it's kind of like, it's a youthful energy. It's a young energy. And it could find you sort of embracing a new life, a new start. Pages are many times a new start, especially the Page of Pentacles. It's like, hey, there's a new adventure, there's a new project, there's new something, like maybe a new job, you know, to look forward to. So then we're getting into the later part of the year of 2020. Then we get into October here with the Judgment card. To me, that's always very positive. To me, this is almost like the higher vibration of the Death card, because it's not quite as harsh as sometimes as that transformation can be. This is really the rebirth part of the death cycle, right? This is like things coming back to life, you know, things reviving. October is Libra time, so it is Venus ruled, which again feels quite nice. Let's pull a clarifier for Judgment, please. Yeah, and to me, look at this. Another kind of challenging Swords card. This is, you're reviving, Taurus. You're getting past a lot of very painful old stuff, and there's a couple months where that really comes up. It comes up in June, then it's coming up in October. where it's really time to release some of these old pains. And a lot of it, because it's swords, has so much to do with what's going on in the mind, what's going on in the thoughts. And this Nine of Swords is very important because at the very end of it, in December, I usually don't jump ahead like this, but the December card is also the Nine of Swords. So, you know, the Fool card has come up twice, Page of Swords has come up twice, Nine of Swords has come up twice. We're really pulling into some very specific energies here for you for 2020. So then, November, Four of Cups. Woo, Taurus! Don't take anything for granted, and don't let anybody take you for granted either. Pay attention to everything good that you have in your life, because here's the guy. He's got some cups, and these are pretty awesome. They're really good, but he's sitting there worried about, oh, but if I only had that other one. Isn't that human nature? We've got a lot of things going good, but we're still like, oh, but if only I had that, then everything would be complete. Don't fall into that in November, Taurus. Do not fall into that sort of thinking. Because when you're really grounded and you're grateful and you're in the moment and you're appreciating what you have, guess what? More gets added to you. More gets brought to you. So don't fall into that trap of oh, you know, head in the clouds. I wish that this, It's like, see what's going right. See what's going good. Because then, you know what? When you do that, that fourth cup just sort of magically comes along. Funny how that happens, as long as it's like the watch pot doesn't boil. As long as you're thinking about it, it eludes you. But as soon as you relax and just enjoy what's there already, look at that. Came right on over. How about that? It's so funny how that works sometimes. Oh, and look at that. See, very positive outcome to this, Taurus. You can really get through that kind of tricky energy of that Four of Cups. The Sun card is super positive, so you're definitely going to come through this. Now, December can be a really hard month for everyone, because for many people, it's a dark month. It's, you know, we're getting into the end of the year. We're really reviewing things and maybe thinking about things that we wish we'd done differently, etc., etc. So yet again, this Nine of Swords. A lot of my Taurus folks out there, you know, you're really fighting the fight against, you know, anxiety, depression, insomnia a lot of times. You know, anything that you can do to relax your mind is going to be really important for you this year. There's a lot of that. You got that Page of Swords doubled up, the Nine of Swords doubled up. So to me, you know, the more that you can do to relax the mind, to get out of that anxiety, the better. Because the thing is about that Nine of Swords, it really is mostly in the mind. It's the thoughts, it's the worries, it's the anxieties that keep you up at night. So yeah, I absolutely feel for you, because I am a long-time sufferer of insomnia. I have gone through that off and on my whole life. I know how that can be. You feel like, you know, as soon as you lay down, it's like you feel tired, you lay down, and then as soon as you do, those thoughts start coming up, right? And so that's what that is. That's what that Nine of Swords is, man. It is not easy. So let's get a clarifier on him. But look at that, Taurus. You really don't have anything to worry about. And I think that's the real key to 2020. You don't really have to worry. I think for many of you, and I can relate, I'm a fellow Earth sign, I'm a Capricorn, we like to have things in order. And when we feel like we're not in control of where things are going and all of that, then yeah, we lay awake just going, oh, you know, I gotta think about this, I gotta work on that, I gotta do this, da, 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 da. We drive ourselves crazy. But here's that Ten of Pentacles, super beautiful Earth sign energy, Taurus. And it's saying you don't gotta worry. You got this. It's solid. It's stable. It's everything you've hoped for. Oh my goodness. So yeah, remember that the more that you give into that worried mind, the less energy you have to be putting into manifesting your dreams, which are very, very awesome this year. All right, Taurus. Sorry, I'm just still kind of congested from being sick. I can't believe, well, I kind of can, because everybody's got colds and stuff right now. I've had people in and, you know, they're sniffling and I'm like, oh boy, here we go. Even though I take all my vitamins and I do all my good stuff, it's like it's so hard to avoid it at this time of year. All right, Taurus, so we're going to pull an Affirmator card. I love this funny little duck. It's got a rabbit riding a unicorn, which doesn't get me better than that, in my opinion. And this is just going to be a little bit of fun advice for your year ahead. Ooh, I love this for you, Taurus. This is so perfect. Impermanence. Impermanence is your card. And it says, life is always changing, and I drift easily through the changes, good and bad. As I drift through hard times, I can take comfort in knowing that I will leave them behind. And as I drift away from good times, I can take comfort in knowing that more will come my way. Impermanence is an equal opportunity non-entity. Oh, isn't that it? Yes, Taurus, be flexible. There will be some challenging times through this year, but the good times will be there too. You've got some really great stuff going on, so don't lose heart. Don't give in to your anxieties or worries, because that is really the thing that's going to rob you of all the good stuff that's, you know, working its way into your life. So whatever you can do to stay in the moment and not give into that, the better you will be doing. I will be seeing you soon, and I hope you have a beautiful new year. Take care. Bye-bye.